Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Short Corner podcast. As you can tell by that little musical introduction, of course, we did it. AC Milan did it, a 2-0 win away against Atalanta. We didn't want it to go down to that game, but it did, and we only went and bloody did it. 2 penalties, typical Milan style this season, but we take it. We're scummy and we'll take it. This isn't going to be like a full-on, because obviously the game happened a few weeks ago now, so it's not going to be a full-on review, but we're just going to be talking about like what Champions League means for Milan, what it means transfers wise, what it means for like the culture of the club and the attractiveness of the club, and then we're going to be talking about some transfers and contracts, and obviously the whole unfortunate Donnarumma situation. Joe and Rid couldn't join us today, but I am joined by Naim and Samir. Do you want to say hello?
Ciao, guys.
Hello.
So yeah, we'll get straight into it. I said we weren't going to go into too much detail with the Atalanta game, but Naim, do you want to just start off and just say where you were, where you're watching it, your feelings when it happened, and
yeah. Unfortunately, guests came over. I mean, I still watched the game, but while they were sitting there beside me, I was so invested in the game. So when Cassidy scored that first penalty, my mom was talking to her cousins and they're just all enjoying lunch and whatnot. And out of nowhere, I'm just screaming and everyone's just looking at me like out of nowhere, out of context. And then, when Cassie scored, it's just like my lungs were gone. That first penalty for sure. I had to explain the breakdown of that whole top 4 thing to them. And then they're like, oh, Milan hasn't played Champions League in 7 years. That's a long time. But it was a good day, definitely. Watching our Milan get back to Champions League after such a long time back. But hey, we're back, and that's how it is. All right, Samir, where were you?
I was with a couple of friends. They came over, and we all of us thought, okay, it's Atalanta. I don't think Milan's gonna go through. As soon as Cassie scored the penalty, I was like, oh shit. I jumped for a second. I'm like, nah. After we come, what if it's Atalanta? Until it's done, it's not done. So I was waiting. And when Muriel came on, remember, he had a shot around 78 minutes. I thought, oh my God, it's gonna go in. But luckily, it was missed for a few inches. Cassie was amazing throughout the whole game. That game, he was just a beast. From the start to the finish, he carried us the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the Milan way, going to Champions League on the last day.
Mm-hmm.
He just saw us.
Matt, how old were you when Milan last played Champions League?
It was 7 years ago. 2014 was it? February 2014. Yeah, I would have been 10, just about to turn 11 in the summer. So, yeah, as a Milan fan, I've never actually watched Milan in the Champions League. I started supporting October 2016. So, yeah, almost 5 years, and I've seen Europa League football or no European football, and the highlight of my support in Milan in terms of European football was Simon Kjaer's equaliser against Man United. That's the biggest moment I've ever seen as a Milan fan. So I'm hoping that obviously with Champions League, the Milan Champions League DNA is gonna bring up some more good moments, and we're not gonna my favourite Milan moment in Europe isn't going to be Catrone's winner against Rijeka in the Europa League group stage and stuff like that. But yeah, in terms of the game, I don't have the channel for Milan football because we have Sky Sports and we have BT Sport, but it's on Premier Sports in England, and that's just to have a third subscription is just too much money. So I use VIP League, and I normally watch it on my laptop. But I said to my dad, can I put it on the Apple TV? Can I project it onto the Apple TV? So I did that, and again, I think I was just as nervous as all you lot. And the thing is, with the Cagliari 0-0 a week before, my hope was not. I think in the prediction video, I kind of said that we'd sneak it because of results going our way in other places. But yeah, the game was not how I envisaged it. It was in the sense that it was tense, but the fact that we kind of outplayed them and got the win was ridiculous. So at 0-0 and we got the penalty, I was being really pessimistic all game, like not getting my hopes up. So when we got the penalty, I was like, oh, VAR will get rid of it. And then Kes steps up to take the penalty. I'm like, Kessie will miss it. And then same with the second one, we'll miss it. And I was being quite negative, but yeah, luckily it all worked out. And yeah, we've got a season of, well, hopefully a whole season if we get to the final and win it. But we've got at least 6 games of Champions League football next year, which is mental. And it's back where we belong. And it'll be lots of fun.
I don't know. Blame you for being pessimistic there with the 5-0 Atalanta hammering. Hey, it's Atalanta. They're like a Reapers, so to say. It was just written in the stars that Gasperini will keep us out of the Champions League. It was just we all had that dreadful feeling that would happen, but that didn't happen. But Kessie was, like Samir was saying, he was incredible. Another player who was really good for us and fantastic. And you guys probably know who I'm talking about. Our Vikings, Simon Kjaer, just fantastic overall game, fantastic overall season for him. He's just rock solid at the back. He's also helped Tomori in good ways. That partnership is so solid. He was good against Atalanta, stopped a bunch of attacks, kept a clean sheet on top of that. I know it's a touchy subject, but Gigio actually had one key save in that game. You guys probably don't want to talk about it, but that save that might have gone in the Champions League. Hey, we'll never know. But he was good too that game.
Props to Joe. He predicted 2-0. I was like, it's gonna be all of us, like we said, 3-1, right, for Atalanta, except Joe. The mad lad, he somehow saw it coming. Guys, is also worrying. Like our away form is so much better. Like it's insane. Like it's just crazy. Like as soon as we drew against Cagliari, I was like, you know what, that's it. Like no way Atalanta. But then looks like away form is just something else. Like, I don't understand.
Record for away form 15, is it?
Yeah,
I think it's
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not dropped many points at all season away. At home, it's been different because I think at home, I think away, what we kind of benefit from is, say, the teams like I don't know, Cagliari or Hellas Verona. What they think is we're at home, we'll give it a bit more of a go, and that's when we do well. But when teams just go, okay, we're going to play like 5-4-1, and that's like try and beat us. I think that's where we maybe struggle, because when we have to break a team down, it's tough. But when teams come at us and we've got a bit of room in behind and can get around the side and stuff like that, I think that's when we do better. And then the Atalanta game again, I think beating Atalanta 2-0 with 2 penalties is almost as mental as like the 5-0 one, because obviously it's a completely different result. But in terms of shock, the 5-0, no one was expecting to lose that much. But I think we were maybe expecting to lose. But this one, I think no one was expecting us to win, really, apart from Joe the visionary. But mental result. And you mentioned Gigio. Do you want to get stuck into that topic?
Well, actually, 2 more points I want to bring up, and you guys can probably build on this. Calabria, fantastic performance against Atalanta. I think he had a hernia injury. He played through the pain. Really good performance. I think solid 8 out of 10 from Calabria. And do you guys want to talk a bit about Martin de Roon and what he did? He pushed the referee. I thought that was disgusting behavior from him.
Yeah.
So what do you?
He's just he's a weird person, isn't he? Because you remember like his tweet he did where he was like making fun of
and run, Ibra.
Yeah. He was like making his own. He was making fun of his own goal or something like a couple months ago, and it feels like he's almost like trying to act up and try and be not the star, but he's always used to be in the headlines, doesn't he? And it's just weird because as someone who lives in England, all I know him as is a Middlesbrough flop, which is quite funny. But he has turned into a good footballer at Atalanta. But yeah, when you pushing players, pushing officials, it's all over the shop. And I think that was when we kind of it kind of sealed it in our head that they've lost their heads and we're going to seal it. And we did. And hopefully he's learned his lesson. He's calmed down and chilled out a bit.
Some of your thoughts on Calabria Capitano?
Oh, he was amazing. I think this is like best season since the season with Gattuso.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
easily, he improved like almost like, all of his aspect of his game. Like this is his best season yet, and he also played with hernia, right? So like he played the whole game with hernia, so that's just next level. And we're gonna choose a captain next season. I want it to be either Calabria or Kahir. I would like Ibra. He brings lots of mental, but then he doesn't play enough games, sadly, to be a captain.
Yeah, yeah.
So I would not for next season. Like easily, I want Calabria to be the captain or Kahir, either one of them.
Matt, what do you think between Calabria, Kyer, and Kessie for the armband?
I think that there's two types of captains. I remember I read Ancelotti's book, and he speaks about there's two types of captains, and he mentions Baresi and Maldini. How Maldini was your like Andy Armour captain. He'd shout a lot, and he'd be in everyone's faces, and he'd be before the game he'd be hyping everyone up. And then there'll be someone like Baresi who leads by example and sort of his play and his mannerisms kind of do the talking. And I think that someone like Kessie, he's that Baresi one where he just gets on with it. He strolls through midfield. His attitude on the pitch and off the pitch is just exemplary, and he's never puts a foot wrong. So I think that I'd prefer a captain who's like the Maldini one, and I think Calabria's got that capacity to do that. I think when you're on a pitch, you don't just want like the one with the armband isn't the only captain in my head. There's got to be lots of leaders, and I think that someone like Kiera, Kessie, and Ibra, and those sort of players, they do the talking like by playing, and they just kind of get on with it, and they don't have to shout, and they don't have to, sort of get people G'd up. They can just play, and then people will see them as a leader. But I think with a captain, you need someone who people think, okay, he is a proper, loud, mouthy, in your face, motivational captain. I think that a local lad, someone from Lombardy, like Calabria, I think him as a captain, although young, could be, I think he'd be perfect. And with it's going to be a bit of a weird summer, isn't it? With Donnarumma and possibly Romagnoli moving on, and it's going to be a bit of a shift for the hierarchy of captains and stuff like that. But I'm confident that Pioli, Maldini, and everyone at the club will make the right decision, and I hope it's Calabria.
Yeah, we can talk about the Donnarumma subject right now. Unless Samir, were you gonna add something?
I was going to say I wouldn't mind Kessie as a captain, but my thing is he already has so much pressure. He's a penalty taker, he's literally controlling the midfield,
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want another pressure to be on him, So I'd rather have the Calabria or Kayu than Kessie, already takes penalties and everything. So, I'd prefer someone else. But I wouldn't mind Kessie. Also, I feel like Kessie is not really vocal enough.
Yeah, he does. He's in vocal.
Like in the field, I get as Matt said, like locker room leadership, all that. But then I prefer like someone in field vocal, like Ibra, like shouting, Kai shouting, Calabria, someone like that.
Yeah. So the Donnarumma situation, I think what Maldini did, that was a power play move. Raiola was pressuring him, hey, give us this much, that much. And Maldini just says, okay, well, I'm just gonna get out and get a new keeper if you're gonna keep stalling. It's a big power play move. He put the ball in Raiola's court, and I think GGO is a lost dog now because every top team has a keeper. PSG have Navas, Juve have Chesney. Unless these guys move on, Gigio won't be starting at those clubs. It's sorry to say, he's so good, but it's just he's between a rock and a hard place, so to say. I know Matt, you started supporting Milan because of Gigio. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was always with him, so I'd watch the Sempre Milan podcast, and Jan, he'd always go along the opinion of if he wants to renew, he will. Doesn't matter what Raiola says. It doesn't matter what anyone says. He'll do it himself. He'll be the man, and he'll take things into his own hands. And he said, and if he doesn't, then he never wanted to stay. And I was kind of always skeptical for that. Maybe trying to convince myself that he isn't a snake sort of thing. And I was trying to say to Jan that no, there is the degree of Raiola does have some sort of control. But when you look at it, this isn't 17-year-old Donnarumma in 2017 or 18-year-old Donnarumma. This is Donnarumma who's like 22, 23 now. He's someone who needs to be making his own decisions and needs to stop being a puppet for a money hungry pig like Raiola. But yeah, it's just a shame that because the months were passing by, weren't they? Like another week, he's still not renewed, and you're like, oh, something will be sorted out, and then you hear the stuff that he's saying about how he just does whatever Raiola tells him, and it's like it's a shame that someone like him, someone who like loves Milan and is a Milan lad, he just prefers to go with his agent, and it's just a shame because, as you say, I started supporting Milan because of Donnarumma. Obviously, I don't support Milan solely because of Donnarumma now, but that's what got me into Milan. And yeah, as I say, it's a shame that he's worked out like that. But as you say, if it, like, do you know, in 2017, the rumours when Donnarumma left was that, oh, it's going to be Mattia Perrin to replace him, or a year or two ago it was Mere, or it was Musso, or it was, you know, something like that, or Aldero or something from Sampdoria. But now, like you said, Maldini, he's obviously had this. Think about how quickly the Mike Maignan deal happened. What was it, like 3-4 days? It shows it had him lined up for a while. And if, as I said, if Donnarumma was leaving and we had Russo or someone like that, or Perrin coming in, I'd be like bricking it, like, bloody hell, this is crap, this is awful, like we've had a massive downgrade. But we've got the best goalkeeper in the French division, like 4 more clean sheets than anyone else in the league. He's just won Ligue 1, so we've got a winning mentality as well. So I'm obviously annoyed at Donnarumma, and it shows that the only thing he cares about is money and not a legacy or any sort of decent reputation. And I'm annoyed by it, but I'm disappointed by it, but I'm not devastated because, of course, the person who's coming to replace him is very good.
Yeah, I think Mainana had the most clean sheets in the world, actually, in Europe's top 5 divisions. So it's a proper replacement on that. Samir, what do you think about the Gio situation? You might have a choice few words for him.
Man, like, I was really pissed. Also, I was like, thank God this guy left. You know, we can't deal with this situation every year. You know that, like, you know, like my love for him already kind of died out since 2017-18 debacle. You know, with the old management, and I'm like, bro, we made UCL. Like that was the plan that all of us thought in this podcast. Like, if you make UCL, he's gonna sign. Like, there is no way he won't sign for us.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And then he wants like what, 10 million, 8 million with like 2 million bonuses, 20 million for Iola.
Yeah.
Just, bro, like this was your childhood club, right? Like we gave you the chance, like no one else would. We made you our keeper at the age of 15, 16. Like, at least have some decency to, you know, be with us one more year. Fine, if you want to leave, you know, okay, fine. You want to win some trophies, fine. At least, you know, sign for short term, like 2 years. So if you leave, we can get some money, right? Like he showed no decency. Like, I'm kind of happy that he left. Like, you know, if he can't show us respect, we don't need to, you know. And at this, I think it's hard for him to get a club. You know, like Juve can't sign him unless they, you know, replace or sell Chesney. Same with PSG, they have to sell Keylor Navas. Same with Barca. I don't think Ter Stegen is going to be benched by a 22-year-old. Like, no way. Yeah. So, you know, it's not as easy as it seems. Like in this Corona situation, I don't think anyone's willing to pay 8 million per year for a goalkeeper. Like, no way. No big clubs. I think it's a lost cause.
Yeah, the situation, it's a big contrast to what Gennaro Gattuso did. He didn't take the wages from the club near the end of his contract or something like that. Kaká came, he donated his wages, I think, back to the club or Cherry, something like that. They're showing love for me. Like, even Mario Mandzukic, I have respect for him because he didn't take the wages from the club because he didn't play. You have Donnarumma here, he's doing the complete opposite of what Gattuso and Kaká did. And he said he loved Milan, but it's just crocodile tears that he was showing, that he cried for us and this and that. But at the end of the day, what he did was so disrespectful to Milan. And we gave him the world. Mihajlovic, made him starting goalkeeper at 16. He was revolutionary. And for a club that gives Gigio everything that he's had in his career, for him to do what he did, it just doesn't sit right with me, and I'm sure a lot of other Milan fans.
Yeah. Yeah, like even if you look at Zidane, he had problem with Perez, right? He left because disagreement. Even he didn't take while leaving Madrid the money, salvage payment or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Gigio here, he keeps on saying, "I do what Raiola tells me to do." Like, bro, who the fuck is he? It's your decision. Like, it's not. I see a lot of like Milan fans on Twitter, like, no, it's Raiola, not Gigio. It's not it's Raiola. It's Gigio 100%. Roman Goli signed with us in 2018. Was there any problem with him? No.
Oh.
Like Bonaventura left Raiola. Like, there is no problem with Raiola. It's Gigio. If Gigio says Raiola, 7 million with them, and I will stay with them. He never tried. Both of them tried their bluff and they failed. And Maldini got like one of the best goalkeeper of this season. I'm not sure if Minion can do the same thing he did this year, but I think this was the best option with 13 million. He looks promising. He's 25. He's mature, and also like I've seen from Samir Milan, letting go of Donnarumma, we are saving 120 to 140 million.
Quite a bit.
Yeah, so
No, it's even like Raiola is Zlatan's agent too, but I don't know if you guys. But Zlatan handles his own negotiation. He's
read about
that's
that.
what he does. Yeah.
I think it
like Matt, go on.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
I read it on Sempre Milan website. They're like Gigio, like he got asked, didn't he, by Maldini, like straight after the game, was like, "Oh, Champions League football, you staying now, then, aren't you?" And he's like, "Well, we'll see what Raiola says." It's like, surely, like, he's going to look back in like when he's like 50 years old, and he's going to look back and he's surely going to think like, why the hell did I just like let this guy Raiola, who's like Raiola will be like dead because he'll have a heart attack with how fat he is, but he'll be dead, and he'll be at Raiola's funeral and he'll just be sat there at the bar thinking like, what did this guy actually do for me? He didn't do anything for me. He ruined my legacy at a club. I'm just remembered as just another goalkeeper now. I'm remembered as the guy who, I don't know, went to Juve and got replaced by whoever in 5 years' time. And it's just, he's basically what he's done is, because the rumors are that he wants 10 mil or Raiola wants 10 mil. Again, who wants it? Does he want it or what? And Milan are offering 8 million for a goalkeeper. I can't think of a team. Nothing speaks to mind that there'll be a team in the world where their goalkeeper's paid the most. And he's gone, no, I'm not signing unless I get my 10 mil. So what he's done is he's got here on one hand, he's got a legacy, trophies in a few years' time, Champions League football with your boyhood club, or you've got your 10 mil. And what he's done is he's gone, I'll leave all that stuff. I'll leave the legacy and the trophies and the Maldini-esque, Baresi-esque, Costa Curta-esque. I'm going to leave all that sort of career behind, and instead I'm going to go for another 2 million. And that's the moral of the story. It's not like he's going to buy him. It's not like Neuer's retiring this year and he's going to buy him, who are light years ahead of Milan in terms of like their journey, or going to Man City because Edison's leaving, or going to Liverpool because Alisson's leaving. He's going to be going to a team who is going to be a sideward step. If Milan got Europa League football and Man City came in for Donnarumma, you'd have to go, okay, fair play. It's a massive step up in your career, long-term and short-term. But now he's just going to go to a club who aren't any further ahead than Milan, who aren't going to treat him half as good as Milan have treated him for the past like 5 or 6 years. Mm-hmm. And he's just going to be remembered as another goalkeeper. And why has he got to this point? Because he wants another 2 million. And yeah, it's disgusting. And I think it just shows his true colours now. So yeah, it's a shame.
Sad ending for him. Honestly. Yeah. Like very sad ending. Also, I don't think Man City is gonna pay like 10 million for a goalkeeper, even if Ederson was leaving. Like, no way. I don't see anyone. By nowhere, like I think few days back they signed like another German goalkeeper as a backup. So I don't think, I think just a bad bluff from Raiola, and Maldini just like destroyed Raiola's bluff. Perfect. I don't really care about him anymore. Like, like he's Yeah, he was our best goalkeeper. He's, I think, the best goalkeeper in Serie A this season. Like 14 clean sheets. So we have to move on. We can't do this every year. Like, no way.
Yeah, I think Raul is a pain in our ass, and it's a fat pain that we can't avoid because he's also the client of Alessio Romagnoli. And I think my opinion is that we should keep Romagnoli to rotate with Simon Kjaer and Fikayo Tomori because we're getting Champions League football, Coppa Italia, as well as Serie A. So Simon Kjaer, he's not the youngest. He's quality, but he's not young, and he might get injured. And who's gonna fill in? Gabbia playing Champions League against what, Man City, Barcelona now. We need Romagnoli to stay. That's my opinion, but Raul is just making that scenario just harder than it should be.
Yeah, Romagnoli's a difficult situation because, as you say, you need players who are good backups. You need people so that if Tomori or Kjaer got injured, it'd be a shame, but you can go, okay, it's fine, we've got Romagnoli. But then at the same time, good players want to play. And Romagnoli is a decent player. I think we've spoken before about how with Gattuso, he was a whole lot better because we played a lot deeper and he wasn't like susceptible to the ball in behind, but he's still a good quality, Italian league defender. But again, if he's going to cause more Raiola problems, if he's going to ask for, I bet Romagnoli's going to ask for more money than Tomori and Kjaer. And it's like you can't have that imbalance of players who are on the bench, unhappy, not playing, and then they're on more money than the stars of the team. And yeah, I saw links today with like Boubacar Kamara from Marseille, and he's younger than Romagnoli. He's good. He's for a player of his age, he's very experienced. And if he'd be someone I think who'd be more willing, definitely to be paid less, and he would be more willing to sit on the bench and learn from Kjaer and learn from Tomori. And I think that if you can get like, I don't even know, like 20 mil for Romagnoli, get his, because apparently he's unhappy. But I saw something saying he feels betrayed by the club. And it's like, what do you mean betrayed? You played worse than two of the centre backs, so you're on the bench, mate. So yeah, I'd say that you need high quality backups, or else we'll like get out in the Champions League in the group stage, and we won't do well, as you say, in the domestic competitions. But at the same time, you don't want to put in jeopardy the harmony and financial stability of the club. So yeah, I'd say if you can get a decent amount for Romagnoli and then reinvest that in young, hungry, youngsters who are willing to learn and have a bit more money and sit on the bench for a couple of years, then yeah, it's worth it.
For me, I hope if he doesn't make a problem, with the salary or wages, I hope we keep him. He's been with us since 2014, right, or 2015. So I would really like him to play Champions League with us. If he accepts the bench role, I'd rather have him, and I'd rather waste money on attackers than, sell him, get another defender. I'd rather go all in on, like a Depol or someone in attacking, rather than in reinforcing our defending position.
Should we move on to transfers, lads?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna list the players that we've been linked to the past few days, and you guys can give your thoughts on that. Olivier Giroud, Rodrigo de Paul, Junior Firpo, recently that one, Domenico Berardi, Matseda, Camara, Belotti, surprisingly. Samaka's names in the mix. Dusan Vlahovic last month. Anyone leave out?
Ilicic and Papu Gomez, I think.
Those two as well. Yeah. So get some thoughts on those.
Yeah, a lot of good names to be fair. I say so is Mandzukic, is he out of contract now? Is he?
Yeah, he's
gone. He's gone.
Okay, so I'd say with Giroud, I think that unless he wants silly wages, I think that's a good signing. I think he's an upgrade on Mandzukic, and he's built in the same mold. Obviously not as good, but he's built in the same mold as Ibrahimovic. And I think if given the opportunity, if say Giroud was a free agent in January, I think Maldini would have signed him instead of Mandzukic. I think that Mandzukic is like just not as good as Giroud. I think Giroud is just like a better version of Mandzukic. So if he came in, I think he'd understand that Ibra's the man. And like that first Champions League game at the San Siro under the lights, hopefully with some fans in there, there's no way that Giroud's starting and lining up ahead of Zlatan. And I think he'd be a good player to understand that. I'm glad to see that the right wing position is being looked at. I think Berardi, similar to De Paul, I think, and Belotti, I think I'm noticing a pattern here. The owners of these clubs who were asking for silly money, like Cairo at Torino was asking for like 100 mil. De Paul, they're asking for like 50 mil a couple years ago. Berardi, they're asking for like 60 mil. I think now what they've realized is, okay, these players, like now's the time for them to move on and they need to be sold so we can get some money in quick. So I think any of those three for like low down prices, like again, like people like Cairo asking for 100 mil for Belotti, if we can get him for like cheaper, then that'd be good. Same with Berardi, same with De Paul. I think De Paul, what's the situation with Hakan in his contract? Is that
the latest is Hakan is apparently he's going to renew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not that much of a need for De Paul. I think if I had to choose one of those three like domestic Italian talents to take, I'd say Berardi, because I think that up front we've got Ibra and then say Giroud, and then and then at Cam we've got Çalhanoğlu and maybe Brahim coming back for another year, and we've got like decent depth there. But the right wing, we've said for ages, haven't we? Like right wing, because Suso was inconsistent. Salamakers is like a system player, and there's some games where he's not on the ball. And then Samir Castillejo, we won't even get started on that one. But yeah, I think if we have Berardi there, that'd be very good. And then obviously Kamara, I gave my stamp of approval, my Football Manager inspired stamp of approval on Boubacar Kamara, because he turned into quite the player on Football Manager. But yeah, I think we need to be careful not to stray from an identity that we've built. We've built recently a good identity of cheap, good youngsters who come in, like you think Salamakers, like no one rated him, and now he's turned out to be a really important player. And then also the older experienced players who can help us lead. So Ibra, Kier, Mandzukic, that's the second part of our identity, so that we're not just a team of teenagers running around on a pitch not knowing what we're doing. And then, so as well as the old experienced players and the young, like inexperienced players, you've got that kind of middle ground, your Berardis, your De Pauls, and your Belottis, who are kind of like prime of their careers, they're domestic talents from within Italy. So yeah, as long as we don't stray away from our identity and keep a consistency in the transfer policy, then I think we'll be in for a good summer. And we just need to make sure that we're not embarrassed in that Champions League group, because I can already imagine the Bleacher Report football graphic of
not
the Milan of like, oh, AC Milan, they're not the Champions League side they used to be. So yeah, just need some decent players just to reinforce the squad.
All right, Samir.
For me, if I were Maldini, I would play 40 chess, get Giroud for like a year or 2 year contract, and next year get Belotti for free. From the reports, what I can see, Belotti is not signing with Torino. He's not trying to extend his contract. So if I was Maldini, I would sell Giroud for 2 seasons or a season, and next season get Belotti for free, provided he had a good season. But he always does. He always have like double digit amount, like 12, 15 goals every year, and for right wing, I would definitely go for Ilicic. I like Berardi, but then I think he's gonna cost like 40-30 million at least. So I would rather get Ilicic. Looks like he's leaving Atalanta, so I would rather get him for like 2 years. Like yesterday, Slovenia, they had a match with some country I don't know the name of. Ilicic had 2 goals and 1 assist. Yesterday's, So I would rather have Ilicic for 2 years and go all in on Depot. Like if Hakan doesn't sign, we should definitely sign Depot.
Yeah.
And Mihailovic, I don't know, man. He's just way too. He's just very new, very raw. Like every time we saw, like I've seen Fiorentina play, he didn't really, like he's not the striker we need right now. He's very, very young, very raw. I want someone old, experienced. And I don't want to talk about Stamaka. I don't like Skamaka. It just every time I've seen him, he just very man, like he's like a mid-table striker,
Scored a goal for us this season.
Oh yeah, yeah. He did score own goal, so dude. Also, it says in his scammer. It's just I don't want him. Yeah, I just.
He's Piontek 2.0, is he?
Oh yeah, he is definitely. Yeah, definitely.
He
So
reminds,
I
he
rather go for.
reminds me. Sorry, I'll just say this quick thing. He reminds me of
Yeah.
Britannia a bit. Britannia, because he's just
Yeah.
kind of that he's got a dodgy tattoo. He doesn't look like he's in particularly amazing sort of condition. He Britannia was too fat. This guy's too skinny, and then just a mid-table sort of striker that he's not the answer.
This guy is type of strikeout son on FIFA, because he has tattoos and he just looks cool. I don't think he'll provide us with anything. So, but my preferred would be DePaul. Go all in, 30-40 million for him, and Ilicic for free, and Giroud if he's free. That'd be my preferred signing for next year.
Yeah, I think Berardi has my stuff of approval ever since he got that hat trick against us a couple of years ago. Matt, you probably witnessed that one in the early years, but that was painful to watch. And I was like, "Who is this Berardi kid? Who is he?" But he wants to play Champions League. Every player wants to. I think we can maybe snag something out of Berardi. And Sassuolo. DePaul, the thing with DePaul that irritates me is that they are insistent on Jens Petter Hauge. I think Hauge has a part to play next season for us because we're going to be rotating a lot. So I don't think we should give Hauge away. In case of Firpo, I hope we get Firpo because we need a backup left back if Diego Dalot, who I think should be redeemed, does not come. But we need a. I don't know if Hakan signed. It's a bit of a, like Mao was saying, it's a dilemma with DePaul because we already have Hakan renewed, and we're gonna have a Cam, but which we don't have the need for DePaul. Giroud, he scored 4 goals, and on Sevilla he destroyed them really. He scored a bicycle kick on Atletico Madrid. He's had a really good season and made way better than Mario Mandzukic. He's at peak physical condition. He's just off a back of a Champions League winning season. That would be the perfect guy to rotate for us. And if you guys have been seeing some of the stuff that Giroud has been saying to the papers, he's just like, I don't see Zlatan as competition. I'm looking forward to playing with them. And that's the type of mentality that we need over here at Milan. You can't see it as competition. Giroud he's looking forward to playing with Zlatan, and that can only help us.
Yeah.
But another guy that we haven't really talked was Tommaso Pobega, back of his breakthrough season at Spezia. He plays the Krunic role, so that's just if Pioli wants, he could keep Pobega as a backup option, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hakan, if he doesn't renew, go for DePaul or Ilicic. I don't think we're getting Papu because Sevilla has said that they're not going to sell, right? So that's pretty much, I think we have a good transfer policy, and I trust Maldini.
I think what's important to do is, again, we don't want to be Hakan's bitch or Romagnoli's bitch.
Yeah.
It's we need to do what we did with Donnarumma, which is if you want to be here and you know your role, cool, we'll keep you. You can stay. You can get a decent amount of money that you want, and you'll play some games. Sometimes you might be on the bench. We'll see how things go. But we do not want you here if you do not want to be here. If you're hesitating over contract offers or going, oh, maybe, just give me a week to reply or just give me a minute, just piss off. I'm not having it now. We're a Champions League side. We're the biggest team in Italy. There's no, Juve aren't ahead of us now. The only team in Italy who are undoubtedly ahead of us are Inter, of course. But even now, without Conte, they're unstable. So the thing is, what we need now is just to get this attitude. I think what we've maybe had a bit of an inferiority complex before, where if this situation was a few years ago with Hakan or with Donnarumma, we would have gone, okay, oh, you're the best player we could possibly get.
Yeah.
We have to renew no matter what, and you become their bitch. But what you need to do now is go, okay, if you don't want to be here, piss off, we'll get the pool. If you don't, Romagnoli, if you don't want to be here, we'll get a camera. And that's the attitude we need to have. And I think if we need to be strong, assertive, and decisive in this window. And yeah, if we are, then we'll be sorted.
Yeah, I think right wing would be on top of all of our lists as the biggest priority in this mercato. Berardi would we're always saying Berardi, but does not understate the importance of how much we really do need a right wing over someone like Samu Castello.
I'm just praying our attack it's like really like upgraded like next year. Like we can't. I don't think we'll go past group stages with the same team. It's also we're in Pod D, so
Yeah, Pod 4.
Yeah, that's why Pod 4. Yeah,
Oh no, man! So we're gonna get group of death, but
easily. Yeah. So guys, anything else? Are we good to go?
Actually, I want to mention one last thing. Said Bessin, prayers go to his family. Really sad story. What happened there? He's a Primavera prospect that played in the same team as Locatelli, Petagna. He gave up his footballing dream to go back to Ethiopia, or I think he was working jobs in Italy, and people were just really, really racist and rude to him. So that caused him to take his life. So sad story what happened there, and hope he rest in peace.
Yeah, it's very sad. Like it's 2021, still people care about people's skin color.
Yeah,
like it's just racism, which is it's sad. Honestly, I just feel it's just very sad. I don't know why it happens. It happens like every time, everywhere. Just very sad.
Yeah, prayers go to Said Bassin's family. But other than that, anything you wanted to add on that? Matt?
No, I think we're sorted, to be honest. Yeah, I think we've covered everything. So obviously thanks to Naim and Samir for coming on again. And I think one of our next podcasts is going to be like a little review of the season and like rating players. So be sure to be ready for a Kessie 10 and a Samir and Samu 0. Not Samir. No, Samir would get a 10, of course. We'll be back with another podcast soon. But yeah, been a good one today, reviewing the wonderful end to the season and hopefully some equally wonderful transfers, even if we are going to lose some of the decent players like Donnarumma and Hakan Romagnoli. But yeah, I'm sure whatever happens this window, I back Maldini, and I'm sure Naim and Samir back him as well. And yeah, we'll get a good summer, and next year we'll be back in the Champions League. So yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe on this episode 11.5, and we'll see you next time.
See you in Champions League, guys.
See ya. Forza Milan.